everyone, it's nice to see you again. Happy Monday. And all you Homework Club kids watching, hey guys, how you doing? So today we are going to be doing an art project. It's going to be monster mouths, so stick around. But first, I have a riddle for you all. What's something that's easy to get into, but hard to get out of? I'll let you guys think on it, and then at the end of the video, I'll ask you about it again. So keep on thinking. Now let's get to our activity. For today's art project, you only need two things: paper and art supplies. If you don't have art supplies, please don't feel discouraged. A simple pen or pencil will work just fine. So now that you guys know what you need, let's get to it. This is what my paper is going to look like when it's all finished and folded. So I'm going to unfold it and show you guys how I did what I did. So I folded my paper a little bit above the initial first third, I'd say, and I made that fold. So I made this fold and I got a third of the paper. Then I made a slightly smaller fold right above here. So this one, you can kind of see the crease. So here's my fold, that was my first one. And then I fold it back so I have just a little bit of paper hidden for our mouth. So to reiterate, initial fold, or the first fold right here above the first third, and then give yourself a little bit of hiding space and fold it over. You can decide whatever length you want your mouth to be, you go ahead. I decided this length. That's where I folded, and that's where we're gonna rest. So now, let's get to creating. All right, so we just finished our little monster mouth guy. What should we name him? He's got piercing eyes. They're looking right into your soul. I'm gonna call him Tom. So Tom, very innocent, very not scary, but then, oh, wabam! He's gonna hypnotize you, and who knows, maybe he'll eat you, I don't know. I think Tom's a little bit more friendly than that. I don't think he'd eat you, but he's a little spooky. He's a little scary. Who knows? But I thought this activity was really fun. In fact, I thought of a cool thing. Unfortunately, I can't do on this channel because I don't have a printer, but wouldn't it be the funniest thing if you took someone's head and did this? So I don't know, if I took my sister's head and I put the chin here and her forehead or face here, and then I made it like she was doing something crazy. I thought that would be funny. If you guys have the ability to do that, go ahead and do it. I think it'd be fun. But now that we've done our art project, let's move on to our positive action, or our positive tip of the day. Today, we are talking about empathy. So what exactly is empathy? It can be described as being able to feel and understand what someone is going through. Now, when I say feel and understand, do I mean you're able to be in that moment, them understanding? No, not at all. I mean more of your friend has just tried out for the soccer team and she didn't make it. Now, you're there with her and you're kind of feeling those emotions and grieving that loss with her. And that is what empathy is. Another example of empathy is, say you're hanging out with your friend and you thought you were having a blast, you thought they were having a blast, but turns out they're not having such a great time. That's empathy, being able to identify and empathize with what they're going through. So sadness, happiness, joy, all of that counts. The heavy stuff and the good stuff is all part of empathy. Empathy is what connects us to the people around us, being able to feel those feelings with them. It's something that's quite powerful. So it's something that we should grow and learn how to do, how to empathize. So at the end of the week, I'm going to talk about empathy again, and hopefully we'll be able to do a little bit more. But until then, let's get reading our book. If you guys last remember, we left off afternoon in the Amazon right before chapter 9. Jack and Annie were racing up the ladder to get to the treetop canopies back into the magic tree house. With the help of Peanut, of course. How could I forget Miss Helpful Little Mouse, Peanut? So we're picking up at chapter 9. This is called The Thing. Jack and Annie climbed into the tree house. Peanut was sitting on a stack of books. Annie patted Peanut's little head. "Thanks," she said softly. "I have to write some notes about the rainforest," said Jack. "You find the Pennsylvania book." Annie began searching for the Pennsylvania book, the book that always took them home. Jack pulled out his notebook. He had wanted to take lots of notes here, but all he'd written so far is, "The Amazon rainforest is..." "It's not here," said Annie. "What?" Jack looked up. He glanced around the treehouse. Annie was right. The Pennsylvania book was nowhere in sight. "Was it there before we left home?" Jack asked. "I don't remember," said Annie. "Oh man," said Jack. "Now we can't even get back to Fog Creek." "That means we'll be out here when the vampire bats come," said Annie. Something came flying through the treehouse window. "Ah!" Jack and Annie hid their heads. Thud! Something hit the floor. A red fruit. Jack looked up. The monkey was sitting in the window. His head was cocked to the one side. He seemed to be grinning at them. "You're safe," said Annie. "Thank you for saving us," said Jack. The monkey just grinned. "I just have one question," said Annie. "Why do you keep throwing those at us?" The monkey grabbed the fruit. "No, don't throw it," said Jack. He ducked. But the monkey didn't throw the fruit. He just held it out to Annie. He moved his lips as if he was trying to say something. First picture of the chapter. You can see he's trying to pass them the fruit. Annie stared into the monkey's eyes. He tried to move his lips again. "Wow," Annie said softly. "I understand now." "Understand what?" said Jack. Annie took the fruit from the monkey. "This is it. This is the thing we need." "What thing?" said Jack. "One of the special things we're supposed to find for Morgan," Annie said, to free her from the spell." "Are you sure?" said Jack. Before Annie could answer, Jack saw the Pennsylvania book. "Look, our book," he said, pointing. "We found the thing, now we can see the book. That's the way it works. Remember?" Jack nodded. He had now remembered. The Ninja Master said they wouldn't be able to find the Pennsylvania book until they had found what they were looking for. The monkey screeched with laughter. Jack and Annie looked at him. He was clapping his hands together. Annie laughed with him. "How did you know to give us this?" she said. "Who told you to do that?" The monkey just waved at Jack and Annie. Then he turned and swung away out the treehouse. "Wait!" said Jack, looking out the window. Too late. The monkey was gone. He had vanished below the treetops. "Goodbye," called Annie. A happy screech came from the mysterious world below. Jack sighed. He picked up his notebook again. He looked at his writing. The Amazon rainforest is... He had to write something before they left. He quickly added the word amazing. Jack put his notebook away. Annie picked up the Pennsylvania book. "Now it's really time to leave," she said. She turned the picture to Frog Creek. "I wish I could go there," she said, pointing at the picture. The wind began to blow, the leaves began to tremble, and the treehouse began to spin. Then everything was still. Absolutely still. Chapter 10, Halfway There. Squeak! Jack opened his eyes. Peanut was on the treehouse windowsill. "We're home," said Annie. Jack breathed a sigh of relief. Annie held up the fruit to the afternoon light. "What exactly is this?" said Annie. "Maybe it's in the book," Jack answered. He pulled out the rainforest book, flipped through the pages, and came to a picture of the red fruit. "Here it is," he said. He read aloud. "The mango has a sweet taste, that of a peach." Mango. Said Annie. She brought the fruit close to her lips. "Hey," said Jack, grabbing the mango from her. "We have to put that with the moonstone." Jack placed the mango on the M carved into the floor, next to the moonstone. "Moonstone, mango," whispered Annie. It sounded like a spell. "We're halfway there," said Jack. "2 more to go. Then we can free you, Morgan," Annie called as if Morgan was nearby. "How do you know she can hear you?" said Jack. "I just feel it," Annie said. "Oh, brother," said Jack. He needed more proof of that. Squeak! Peanut was looking at Jack and Annie. "We have to leave you now," Jack said to the mouse. Squeak! "Can't we take her with us?" said Annie. "No," said Jack. "Mom won't let us keep a mouse in the house. She doesn't like mice, remember?" "How could anyone not like this mouse?" said Annie. "How could anyone not like a spider?" smiled Jack. "That's different." Annie patted Peanut's head. "Bye," she said. "Wait for us here. We'll be back tomorrow." Jack patted the mouse too. "Bye, Peanut. Thanks for all your help," he said. Squeak! Jack put the rainforest book on top of the book about ninjas. Then he pulled out his book bag, and he left the treehouse with Annie. They climbed down the rope ladder. They stepped onto the ground. They started walking through the Fog Creek woods. Leaf shadows danced in the light. A bird called out. These woods were very different from the rainforest, Jack thought. "There's no jaguars or army of ants here," he said. "No little monkeys." "You know, that monkey was never being mean," said Annie. "He was just trying to give us the mango." "I know. Actually, nothing was being mean," said Jack. "The army ants were just marching. That's what army ants do." "The piranhas were just being piranhas," said Annie. "And the snake just being a snake," said Jack. "And the crocodile just being a crocodile," said Annie. "And the jaguar was just taking care of her baby," said Jack. Annie shuddered. "I still don't love bugs." "You don't have to love them," said Jack. "Just leave them alone, and they won't bother you. In fact, that's true about the whole rainforest," Jack thought. "Everyone should just leave it alone." "Who cares if the bugs don't have names?" he said softly. "They know who they are." Jack and Annie stepped out of the creek woods. They started walking up their street. It was lit with a golden light. "Race you," said Annie. They took off running. They ran across their yard, raced up their steps. "Safe!" they shouted together, tagging their front door. That's it. That is our book. We are finished. So afternoon on the Amazon, boom, done. I didn't really throw it. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I had a lot of fun reading it, and I hope you picked up on the message of the end of the book, which is all about being kind to our planet. If you don't have to mess with nature, then don't. Just let it be beautiful and keep on doing what you're doing. But before I say my goodbyes, I have my riddle that you guys have to answer. Does anybody remember what it was? Does anybody have an answer? So what is something that is real easy to get into, but real hard to get out of? Does anyone know? Folks, it's trouble. Whew, isn't that true? But I hope you have no trouble this coming week, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Thank you for watching.